Hunter x Hunter, the formula for self-destruction. This is an analytical anime video. I love this. This is my favorite type of videos. These are the videos I put the most effort in because I grew up, watching fanmade videos like, AMVs, like a bridge series, really, content that you can't get paid for. And this is something that I really heavily partake in because when I got criticized by society for being a little kid watching anime like Dragon Ball Z when I was younger, not recognizing that it comes from Japan, not recognizing how deeply different, the voices were, and didn't really pay too much attention to the Japanese lore. That's why I like dubs half the time more than subs, but I like the subs if they're more entertaining. Like the Soul Eater, I like subs. I like Soul Eater way better subs. I feel like the dubs are a disgrace, not because it's bad. It's perfect for a dub, but it's just a translation to me because what it is like, it's a deep show, and I feel like it's too deep for America. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's really concrete and rugged. And there is a way you can pull it off. I definitely believe that they were sloppy, but I have to really get established that really when I was younger, they used to always criticize me, especially in this old internet forum. They used to make fun of me for not watching Hunter x Hunter when it was popping. You see what happened is I joined this rap league online with a whole bunch of other black people, and what happened is I tried talking to them and I was pretty good, and I was pretty focused on other shit, and I really like freaking animes like Haruhi Suzumiya. I wasn't really cool big on Attack on Titan. I didn't like Attack on Titan at all, like when it first came out, but I like shit like Code Geass, like all the other shit. I like unique animes and shit, and people used to criticize me for not liking shit like Fullmetal Alchemist. So this whole false sense of maturity that was going on in the anime community all spread out during Hunter x Hunter, because I watched it the second year, I watched it when I was born, and I didn't watch the first episode because of how it was presented, right? I'm like, why are we starting the anime, where episode we're in a fucking boat on the fucking shore? How boring is fucking that? And all fucking things that you can start an anime off of. Yeah, I mean, I got in the opening is gay as fuck too, The fucking shoreline is very bad visual in the opening, and so how I got into Hunter x Hunter is my brother was watching it on Netflix, and he was watching the second episode, and there was no room for the devil to be in my head right then and there, because the first episode was hella gay, so I couldn't watch it online, so I marathoned it on Netflix, and it was crazy. So I was really watching it to my depressed phase, where I was in denial, where I became, definitely a better rapper, a better person, but it wasn't adding up to the standards that was put above me. There was a challenge that set before me. I wasn't meeting the standards, I wasn't crossing the line, but I was getting pretty close. But shit came on, giving me motivation to not keep going, and what throws me off is the mentality that Hunter x Hunter gives this generation of anime fans. So I want you to understand that Hunter x Hunter was specifically made as a reverse psychology anime in order to fool the population. You can't say it's bad, but that's the wrong thing about it. It's so good, it's absolutely horrible, it's absolutely horrendous. It's a great manga, great story. You know why? Because it's all the formula of a popular kid. And I was wondering why I didn't get along with people. Something I learned last year about how you can become mass at stop speed. What people do is people a door that stops their way. People are solid, a solid straight, and what that is when you're doing war tactics, that means you have to get around big pieces instead of maneuvering easily, and they're not only are the pieces there to get in your way, the pieces are also to confuse you. Have you ever wondered if you stand in the same spot while somebody else is dancing around, it throws them off rhythm, and you're already in the perfect center of balance, is standing in one spot, recognizing you have to move, so you're in a position to where if he moves, he'll be off balance. And that's the recipe for Hunter x Hunter. All the techniques that I learned about being fucking popular, I learned over time. Hunter x Hunter is an anime of reverse psychology. What it is, it's a simple plot where a whole lot that's going on, a whole lot you can play off of, or a whole lot you can interact with friends with. Which is a really bad formula for a show in anime. This is an inside, type of media, but it gives you a lot of outside principles to make you want, do something. I was really infuriated with this relationship I had with this rapper named Chaos Jones. He used to be so infatuated. I don't have to explain, right? No one's getting here, right? But so anyway, this guy, he used to always dick ride Hunter x Hunter. He used to always tell me stop dwelling in the past, I need to get into meditating, and he was watching Hunter x Hunter religiously. So we had a battle, and I was Loki from Fairy Tail, and he was Karapika, and it's really insane because he used to always talk about philosophy. He's telling me to take it slow, take it easy, Literally, I analyze things too much. A lot of that, like literally, the Hunter x Hunter philosophy. So what happens when you give literally a little kid a calm, cool state in a grown man? Literally, you give a kid who's supposed to have ambition, who's supposed to go out and enjoy things in life, literally the calm, cool, and collect perspective of a grown man. I learned that literally, because I learned how to be popular, that you can't really do your own thing, that you gotta focus on one thing and make sure they're focused on one thing, and then do something like, fucking unorthodox in order to keep things afloat. Like, you have to play around. You can't do everything you want. You have to play with reverse psychology a little bit. Like how I got famous was literally, I would do things that were in my comfort zone, but I would go all out. So when it translates to you, everything that you're doing to get paid is everything I'm not doing, but I'm doing everything that you wish you could be doing to your fullest extent, and that's how I got on. And the crazy thing about this was I've had a lot of experiences with Hunter x Hunter of my own things. How I visit anime, hip-hop is also why I was able to binge watch Hunter x Hunter. It was cool. Kurapika's drip is cool. Killua's drip is cool. Literally, I like Killua because he's not this as spoiled brat we think he is. He's not just, like a Gary Sue or anything. He's not. But at the same time, literally, we treat him like he is because we can. And that's the horrible thing about it. I know what's real about him. It's not the fact that he's gangster. It's not the fact that he's always picking on guns. It's the fact that he has his own character. No matter which way you break it, you got like Killua. Like, it's like, literally, I like Killua. I don't love Killua because if I do, fucking other people are literally, how come you don't come around my office? He is the reason why that series is full of shit in and out. Literally, the perfect fucking character to get you past the hard times. Imagine if you're a virgin and shit like that, and unlike Riz watching fucking fairy tale and shit, watching like actual shit that makes you feel good to get through the times, you're watching something that forces you to consider the situation. Literally, you're watching something that's slow paced and impactful. Like literally, when you tell a story, like literally, you know what's the difference between literally fucking, stopping and delivery is that you're making sure they're following along like a baby. So literally, you're not giving them too much, but you're making sure something's impactful. And that's a really bullshit way, because that way you can put anything there as long as you fucking have something there for the impact. That means anything can be like lesser as long as there's something that's quality, like really, or in the middle, like really, something keeps you engaged, and then the rest is bullshit. That's a really bad formula. But the thing is, Hunter x Hunter isn't bullshit if you look into it, if you know your resource. So literally, I can call it bullshit, like literally, if I'm looking for drip, if I'm looking for like literally things I'm looking for in a normal anime, like how come this isn't upbeat, but it forces you to like it if you understand what's going on. I watched it at the time I was depressed, so it made me more mature. But literally, they watched it like literally when they first became an adult. Like literally, I was coming to 19 and they were like freaking 17 turning to 18, like literally, like barely graduating high school and shit. And even if they did graduate high school, like literally, they were basically like fucking 17 to 18 in their head. Basically, I was the one closer getting to a girl. I was depressed, but they had like a harder field to study. Like they were all making music on fucking Fruity Loops. They even had to drive to hack Fruity Loops. I'm like, why would I hack fucking Fruity Loops if I am serious. This shit is not funny. But anyway, the reason why I don't like Jones is because Hunter x Hunter is perfect for him. Literally, you don't have to worry about the stress of like literally not knowing who you are. You have your own persona for being a SoundCloud rapper. Then you watch shit like Hunter x Hunter, something slow paced, like that's really put you down to earth mindsets. You don't really have to trip about life. Well, I can tell you that can only delay. And I can tell you there's a reason why Hunter x Hunter is so intricate when it comes to simple shit, but why when it comes to complex shit, it comes to simple solutions. Because you have to understand, like, literally, that is the formula of a popular kid. You know how, like, literally, I have you focus on one thing, and then I do a whole bunch of other shit that's, like, literally fucking related, but I do just enough to keep you afloat. Literally, that's how you keep your cake in society. You do just enough to establish something, and then you ask for the other person, like, really, to fulfill in. And this is a it's an anime that revolves around game. Like, it's an anime that you can pick a side. What this anime does is it's purposely boring to the naked eye, but not when you're starting to grow. Like, why would I have interest in Hunter x Hunter when there are other, anime out there that are just fun, that make me feel good? Because literally, it's for a little kid to say that things are getting serious, so you gotta focus on simple things because they're growing up. It's really easy for a nerd to watch Hunter x Hunter and like literally shun another nerd for watching like literally an anime that makes him feel good like Fairy Tail, then compare him and then literally explain that's why you don't like anime like Fullmetal Alchemist, because they get down to like literally real life, like why it's more mature to more down to earth aspects, unlike Naruto, who has a fucking demon inside him, somebody who's playing for experiments, something a little bit more realistic. That's some gangster shit. Like literally, this is a Japanese cartoon. I don't need you breaking shit down to a non philosophy when I'm trying to watch a Japanese cartoon. Like, you see somebody else struggling and you're getting high, you're watching Hunter x Hunter, and there's nothing absolutely wrong with the show. And plus, it teaches you how to fight, it teaches you how to slow down, it teaches you how to think before you, like, speak. It teaches you, like, those fundamentals for that very reason. Like, literally, I'm teaching you how to be a fucking popular kid. This is what they do. They literally, some shit is boring, but literally, they know the shit is gonna play out cool. Like, literally every single time, literally, and then they get stimulated. Sometimes it gets really lit, some of that, literally, the recipe for life. If you're fucking, you know, dealing with friends all the time, if you really have social acceptance, like literally freaking there's no fucking question, like literally fucking, and Hunter x Hunter has great action too, but the reason why it's so boring but so like interesting in the middle is because it's made to make you appreciate lore, make you appreciate why it's shonen. It shows you the mature aspect of shonen and why shonen is for little kids. And to be honest, you wanna know, it imitated Naruto. Naruto came first. I'm sorry, because you know why? I can show you 2 pictures. They photoshopped this shit literally they did the same thing with Sylvia. They went back and literally, how come nobody talked about Hunter x Hunter when they were kids? Nobody talked about Hunter x Hunter when we were kids. Sorry. It's true, but it came out at another time where it was made, but it wasn't touched upon. You have to understand. That means it wasn't viewable. That basically means it wasn't there. You get what I'm saying? That shit was basically on foreign television, therefore it was not hitting. The whole reason why they made it is to make you understand this is the mind of the generation. You can't look at, like, you know, Killer War and say there's nothing wrong with him. There's a lot of flaws with him, you know, like literally, they're serious, but there's no flaws with like Killer War per se. And then they make it self-explanatory. They teach you the reason why. When people are wondering why themselves, like literally, they make explanations behind everything in Hunter x Hunter, and that's why you come to the conclusion it is what it is when they already explained. It's a very complicated series. It takes you a mind of twist with the complex system of Nin. What it did was it made it made freaking, you know, it made like literally, it made, you know, anime fans view anime in a different way. That's not only political, but, you know, down to earth. So they'll try more down to earth strategies in order to keep them content in real life. Like, yo, I'll cling on to a community that's actually gonna, you know, support my statement instead of me being my own little world. You know, this is literally fucking like, I want to see this character fight this character. Like, no, I want to see this character fight this character in this environment. It helped it literally fucking, it really expanded what we can do in the anime community as far as power scaling, and it made you recognize, but it also made it sick because you know what that did? That only like literally prolonged the problem. At first, it was minimized. You can only look at anime one way. Like literally, yeah, it is what it is. It's fucking, it's fun. It has great music. It has great characters. This and that. Not fucking taking the characters out and literally taking the system of how the anime works and hunts in the world and how it functions. Literally, freaking how it's comparable. Like literally, they or made to criticize literally the world and how it functions compared to literally other fucking anime universes. Like literally their power system, like literally how they run, like fucking they compare chakra to ki to nen, and what they are is the 3 different power systems that do 3 different things. Literally chakra like performs magic and ki performs, you know, fucking explosives like Dragon Ball Z, and the real reason why it's very intricate and why it's to keep the debates going, but the reason why that makes it creepy sick is because life never freaking really pans out like Hunter x Hunter, but it will pan out in your head if you're not doing shit. You have social validation, and that's the utmost truth. Like when the king literally saw the guy, the emperor, saying this guy isn't fit at all, and some of that, like literally thinking a president isn't really supposed to be fit. That's very gaslighting because he's an animal. Like we view it in that way. It didn't take me to come older. Like yeah, our society treats you like that until I actually dealt in society. You see, what a Hunter x Hunter is, it's the beginning of a gangster before he becomes a man. Because what that is you see them using tricks and trades along the way. You see how they fucking had Killer War make a reference to Dragon Ball Z out of nowhere when he was swinging the yo-yos. Literally, yeah, Easter egg, like literally, I'm like, bro, those literally fucking, he said that those were 2 kilos, like, yeah, that nigga got hit with a ton of weight. Oh, you don't understand, like literally fucking, it was funny as fuck, but still, like literally, that out of nowhere, after fucking 100 episodes of it being okay, we have a really good highlight from Killer War. Literally, they do just enough to keep you afloat, and you know what life is? Doing just enough to keep you afloat. It gives you a mellow head, but what happens if you have to go above and beyond? It's a horrible anime when literally, that same tricks you get to literally gain followers don't work when you have to deal with competition, which is also part of the wild. Because it's a shonen anime, it's not allowed to play off that principle. Thus, we get Neferpito. Dun dun dun. She is where I come into the series. See was specifically made for me to call out this series, not was for me to recognize why this series is watchable, was because of her. See is the reference, see is the symbolism why our anime is connected to Dragon Ball Z. Nerf Pito is what broke the mold. Really, you have to understand, because if they didn't have the Chimera Ant or Hunter x Hunter wouldn't get as nearly as much appraisal as it gets, and we all understand that fluently. But the main part about it is, even before they have the excuse, the martial arts system of Hunter x Hunter is why people still fuck with the power scaling, because it forces you to view it like, yo, Gon can't just go into this fight blindsided. It shows you a whole lot. So to separate it from completely being nerd shit and make sure it's 100% they give you characters like Chrollo, Phaeton, but what they do is they make you think about philosophies of characters instead of like, you know, them actually, you know, that's purely coming from Japan, like literally how they view life and so that, and you get caught up in like literally viewing how they view life, and you're not even making a name for yourself, but it's pretty easy to cling on to, like literally fucking, that's like you fucking praising a fucking rapper out you doing shit yourself. Yo, this nigga came from the bottom and he came right back up and said, fuck you niggas, like this is my land. So that, yeah, cousinship only actually works for you earning it. Other than that, you're just a spoiled brat, because you have to understand, like literally, I did not respect how this nigga was treated like a bitch, like a little fucking kid, literally, with chains wrapped around his fucking mouth, being punked by a little kid. I don't fuck with that, Lily. That's what I know. That's what I know about Hunter x Hunter, and that is where she comes in. Lily, yeah, we had our fucking fights and shit like that, and Phaeton barely fucking won his Chimera Ant fight. Lily, that is where I come in. What is she? She's referencing Frieza. She's referencing Lily when anime used to be in its prime, and Lily, when I watch it, and here's the ultimate Lily tool of deception. So I have to ask you, let me ask yourself, when you think of Hunter x Hunter, who do you think first, Pito or Miriam? Oh, you know what the answer is. You know what the answer is. No. Who did? Not who did more. Not who fucked more people up. No, Lily. Who do you see? The main problem with Hunter x Hunter is life isn't as one-dimensional, but being popular is based off a one-dimensional focus. You are that dimension, so like literally, you don't understand how being popular works. You are like the focus of attention, and you're playing people like a puppet on the strings. Literally, they look at your position over anything you're fucking doing, and you do little tricks just to get by. And Hunter x Hunter does everything. They have a little bit of some gangster shit. They have a tournament arc. They have a little bit of piece of every freaking shonen, and then literally, at the end, literally, we have an arc. What if the world was taken over by animals? A pretty good shonen execution. Literally, the Chimera Ant arc is one of my favorite arcs in Hunter x Hunter because of literally what it stood, what it represented, but why it wasn't misrepresented, why it wasn't poorly executed. It was better than I thought it was. It wasn't overrated nor underrated, and I feel like it was perfect. But at the same time, the main problem of it is that's the highlight of the arc. This is how nerds escape their problems, is Hunter x Hunter. They literally, they get lost in the system, and then because they have so much shit that you can play off of in real life, so much shit that is supportive of the community, that you don't really have to think much else, like Lily, freaking Lily. It solves your philosophies until you grow up. It's perfect. I put it like this. Hunter x Hunter is the anime you watch when you're getting girls' attention, but literally, Yu Yu Hakusho is a show you watch when you actually fuck girls. I'm talking about prime Yu Yu Hakusho, everything before the Dark Tournament, like when it was just on the streets. So literally, when you understand what Yusuke is going through, that you recognize why Yu Yu Hakusho is still a kid's show. Because when you're an adult and you finally fuck a girl and you watch Yu Yu Hakusho, you recognize that this show isn't corny. It's anything but corny, but it's anything but mature. And the only thing that stops it from being real is the fact that literally it's so much fun. Literally, it has everything upbeat, but the theme is so serious. It's really, really crazy. So you know what I do? I watch Yu Yu Hakusho in bits and pieces because we live in a generation that will marathon that shit. I'm like, I can see how you can do that, but with me, I can't because of literally how it makes me feel, because I've had to live the extreme gangster lifestyle where you have to pay attention or you can't be in your own little world. Like some are like literally, some can get away with being in their own little world dealing with people who are, you know, a lower class than them, like literally dealing with no competition, you know, and literally getting away with it where I had to like be aware of my surroundings. I can never get overwhelmed by Yu Yu Hakusho episode, and that's why I can't watch more than one. And literally, and what I noticed when I was an adult is the ambient he had, and literally how he literally is so mature versus when I was younger. I used to just view him as badass, but really I understand what he's going through now. When you grow up, you're gonna still love Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter is timeless. I watched it last year. I started rewatching it last year as an adult, and it was pretty good. I watched it chip style too, and it's a pretty good chip anime. But the problem is really how people can misinterpret it. It's specifically made for nurse to misinterpret it, but it can still be shonen. Because what it is it gives you everything. So this is your reputation, Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter shows you your reputation, how to keep it afloat. Literally, you have something simple, but you do something extreme, and then you have something simple to follow along. Literally, bits and samples of simple shit, a whole bunch of reverse psychology going on. Where literally, instead of somebody pouring their life, soul, and effort into something, you see somebody doing something simple, but then do something, noticeable, and then literally once the focus is on him, literally, he can do this and this and that, but he has to make sure it's within the guidelines. It's like literally fucking creating your own, fucking story, so you gotta make sure everything adds up, but they don't even know that shit. You don't even know that everything is adding up because of the bullshit. It's only adding up because of literally, say you're in a Yu-Gi-Oh club and you get stronger cards. Like, duh, you're gonna get stronger cards because you're in a Yu-Gi-Oh card. They already provide you with cards because you keep on literally being a part of the membership, and they give you something to soothe you along the way and shit. Literally, don't leave you hanging like the Naruto or Dragon Ball community where you're so overwhelmed by something but you can't share it with your intellectual because you're growing up and everybody else is focused on reverse psychology. Hunter x Hunter is perfect for when you're faking being a rapper and you only get girls' attention but you're not fucking girls. But it's still good, like literally either or, but I'm letting you know literally that's what it's made for. It's literally made to let you know that this generation has a tiny focus, so that's why you have to do a lot with it. It shows you have to do a whole lot of simple shit in order for like literally to recognize. It's literally, that's a whole literally purpose of reverse psychology, and I learned that from dealing with people on Skype and they live the same way. It's literally, it's showing you how to like live life if you're a grown-ass man. When you're a fucking teenager, because you forget they're in the fucking wild and shit. Warsoft, it doesn't show you how to live life, it shows you how to view life. So when we get to the main focus of the video, Neferpitou, I am the symbolism of why the anime community is fucked. Neferpitou, why? Is because she has drip, or is because he has the massive abilities that is the most noticeable in the show. You see, not only is she the most diverse character, not only does she have literally the strongest appearance, but she did the most we see was on screen. And that is why Hunter x Hunter is full of shit. Have this complex character scaling, we have literally fucking, this system, we have the king barrier, we have fucking Hisoka being a pedophile, we have all these mature things going on, but where it comes to real, they agree, the best example or shonen in the show is Neferpitou, hands down, so you can't really argue here or there. So we created a fucking series, everything about her keeps it afloat, but when you see her, it puts the icing on the cake completely, and then they put Miriam there, and let me tell you the big flaw for Miriam and why they're both comparable. One is more noticeable than the other, but the other one is stronger. That's not how real life works, because this is literally how this internet form called the AOL tried to like literally try to make me something I wasn't, and literally tried to like make me a bitch ass nigger. So literally fucking they used to watch Hunter x Hunter without me. There's a whole lot of shit you can do with her. You can say that she's a guy, say that she's based on this. You can say don't beat the fuck out of her. What happened is she was the strongest girl in the beginning, or the strongest, but she's actually a guy and a girl. Like they made like literally a transgender character or to fucking fool the population of anime. I'm letting you know that literally fucking it came down to a point where she got her ass beat by a transformational Gon. Gon basically went Super Saiyan and killed Pitou, so they can have everything. You can say everything about her, the rise of form, how she used to be fucking scary as shit, how the king was obviously stronger than her the whole time. All popular this, all popular this, all focus this, focus that, where in reality, you need all her tools to survive in life, really. Beauty, brains, physical strength, mechanics, and the ability to fix yourself back together is what Neferpitou stands for. Like it or not, she stood to her philosophy into the very end. What you need out of life is Pitou, but what you aim for is Killua and Miriam, and that is why Hunter x Hunter is a misguided anime.